you led into a program with Chris Jericho. And first, have you ever heard what Chris said about the match on Inside the Ropes? He did like a whole like a 10-minute video on it.
Did he bury it?
He said that at first he wasn't happy that Vince told him he was going to work with like you at Mania because you were very new and your vignettes were just coming out, and I don't know, maybe he wanted a bigger match on the card. So I was just curious what your first experiences with him were like when you knew you were working together.
Yeah, I think he was slated to work with Ryback, actually. I don't know. That's just what I heard, so I could be wrong. But maybe he was under the impression that he was working somebody else. I know that we kind of started our program kind of late. I think it was almost March, and Mania was in April. So we had like probably a 4 or 5 week build-up. So he was probably thinking one thing. It didn't happen. And then all of a sudden, you've got 4 or 5 weeks to make. So look at it from his standpoint. I think I'm working someone else. Now I'm working this dancing gimmick. This guy hasn't been on TV yet. I have 5 weeks to make this work, and I'm gonna lose. So I could see he probably wasn't totally stoked about it. But I think once he initially got over it and realized that he's gonna do it, he did a great job, man, to work with me, and he was cool.
Yeah.
And I think we pulled it off as, probably as good as you could probably do it, in the situation that we were in. And then we both made some money off it, and then he went on and did his stuff, and I went on and did my thing. So it's business, I think if he worked,
right there,
if he maybe worked just a regular old match, then he wouldn't be talking about that till this day, So maybe it was a good thing that he got to work this ridiculous guy, this hot stepper, Dirty Dango.
I really enjoyed it. I was actually there that night, way back.
Oh, you were?
When. Yeah, I'm in New York. I'm in right here in the city now. So that was just right over the bridge. And actually, I guess they underestimated the amount of people who were coming to see Fandango that night because they didn't have enough buses for us to get home. And in the parking lot until 3 a.m. of MetLife, people were Fandangoing.
Really?
And it was like, It was the biggest thing. It was actually really cool. Yeah. So what'd you think about that when you heard that had gotten like so over? I forget if that was actually in the match or if that was like, I know the night after it was crazy.
I thought it was cool, man. I thought it was cool, and I thought I knew it wouldn't last forever,
Right.
But it helped the momentum lead into a rematch with Chris. I think it was like Extreme Rules, the next pay-per-view. So I thought they'd turn me babyface, but they didn't. And no, it was a good experience, man. It was fun, and I wish in retrospect that I had more ideas pitching to go forward. I kind of just banked on the momentum. That was on me.
Right.
That was my first run and being on the main roster. So I'm like, you show up to TV and people have ideas for you, and this is what you're doing. And then once they stop coming up to you and having ideas for you, you need to be proactive and start pitching different things, and have your next shtick to kind of go towards, but live and learn,
Rewind, recap, relive. For over 50 episodes, the revolutionary force in wrestling interviews.